Coming in, flex. I just wanna win, LABB, who we running with, 2233, I'm on 10 again, State your name. Big been dope on flame, I just switched the lanes. Money clip, I tossed it, I heard it's big bags on big bags on big bags coming, coming in.
Today, we're gonna make you more forceful on the rower in 5 minutes. That's like 5 minutes of like you time on the machine, not 5 minutes of me making the video. I swear, I do them as fast as I can. I'm not trying to draw it out. Let's roll the video. You're probably here because you're trying to put more force or power, not actually the same thing, often used interchangeably, we'll discuss that in a second. You're trying to put more force into the machine and you just feel like, where is it? Like, I know I have power, but I can't put it into this machine. Why? What am I doing wrong? Is the machine broken? No to that last question. Yes, and we'll answer the previous question to that. Let's go. We're gonna be using a little insider tip that a lot of people might not know about, but is really valuable and actually acts like a little pocket coach, a little like if you could fit me in your pocket, a little tool, at least on the Concept 2 machine, on other machines as well. I just don't know how to actually get to them on other machines, and it's called the force curve. Let's just do a quick dip of our toe into the water of the difference between force and power. Force is mass times acceleration. Now, this is where you are actually acting on the machine. This is a push or a pull. Those of you that have hung around the channel, you know that it's a push in this instance, but this is your mass times acceleration. That is what creates force. It is an actual action on another object. That's force. Power is work divided by time. So it is taking the amount of work you are trying to produce and determining based off of the amount of time that it takes, that's what gives you power. So ostensibly you could have a higher work, slower time, a lower work and a faster time, and arrive at the same amount of power. That lens, now we're not gonna get into that today, but if you consider that into the direction of the damper setting or drag factor discussion, it lends to the concept of why you can be successful at any given drag factor / damper setting, and that there isn't any one correct damper setting for anybody, because you can achieve power many different ways on the spectrum. All right. That's out of the way, on to the good stuff. Force curve is a screen or a monitor setting on all Concept 2 machines. Again, also present on other machines. I just don't know those machines and there are a lot of them to cover, so we're just focusing on the Concept 2 today. It is generally the second button down on the right-hand column. If you were to, if I'm you and I'm looking at the monitor, the right-hand column, I have 5 buttons. You push the second one down, and it's gonna give you the force curve screen. The reason we're even talking about this is because the force curve is a literal direct insight into what you are doing, how you are performing on the machine, on the rowing machine in real time. As I mentioned earlier, it's like a little Coach Shane in your pocket at any given time if you understand what you are seeing when you are watching it. And the other piece of this is, can you change the way that you're moving to create a more optimal force curve so that you can create better force? Thus the force in the force curve discussion. The ideal curve that we are looking for, all of us that are coaching in this world, we always call it the haystack. It's smooth, it's perfectly symmetrical, it has a nice acceleration point, a peak, a taper off. There are no outliers, spikes, dips, anything like that. And the reason being that the reason we like that haystack is because it optimizes the amount of area under the curve. The more area down there, the more force you are producing, and that's the goal at the end of the day. There are 2 other potential curves, and both of these are okay. They're not wrong, they're just different ways of approaching the stroke. And if you were to take these 2 on the ends of the spectrum and smash them together, you would essentially end up with the haystack, which is why I talk about the haystack as being the kind of the perfect curve. Now, the first of those is a peaked, or a pretty aggressive peaked curve where you see it actually reach kind of a point and then taper off. Again, no crazy outliers on the up or the down, but it does have a more definite peak. Now, this is what you would get if you have a more traditional rowing technique. Legs, body, arms. And you make sure to really stretch out each one of those so that it is systematic in nature. The second would be more of a full body opening at once, where you are driving legs, opening hips, breaking at the arms, almost at the same time. The arms may wait a little bit longer. That as well, it will have less of a peak, but it will have a longer base. And thus, we arrive at almost the same amount of area under the curves, which is why I say they're okay, is because you still have the same amount of area. You're still producing the same amount of force per stroke, but you achieve it in different ways. So if we talk about the haystack, it kind of encompasses all mechanics and types of strokes that arrive at ideal smooth curves that create connection throughout the entire stroke. The most important part of this all, however, is can you actually make a change if you see an issue with your force curve? And if you're seeing anything other than smooth, nice acceleration all the way through the stroke, odds are there's probably something that we can be working on inside of the stroke. You just need to be able to read it. To do this, we need to understand what the curve is actually reading. For that, I'm going to use a simple prop, the lens cap, to my camera. Now, I'm going to imagine that this is the force curve graph that you are seeing on your screen. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Now, imagine that this is my flywheel. It's gonna go right here. Now, from here, imagine that the rower is extending out. What I'm doing is just imagine if I could overlay my graph with a picture of a rowing machine. So flywheel, slide, back leg, all right? Essentially, as the graph is drawn, it's showing you exactly how force is applied throughout the stroke, meaning it begins with leg drive. The legs are the most powerful part of the body, so we begin to accelerate and create a lot of force here. The leg drive into the hip connection starts to create a lot of acceleration plus peak force application during the stroke, and that's why we start to reach that peak right at about the middle part of the strokes, because that's where the legs and the hips are connecting. Then as the hips or trunk and the arms connect, we start to see a taper off because we are both reaching the end of the stroke as well as the ability to place strength into the machine because of the arms being basically the weakest part of the stroke. I hope that all made sense. Basically, just take your graph, imagine an erg overlaid or a rowing machine overlaid over that graph, and it becomes much easier to understand what you are seeing when there's a force curve drawn every single time. Now the fix comes in wherever you may see the blip, the weirdly spaced peak, the dips. Any of those things are the moments in time in which you need to observe a change should be made. If the blip happens on that initial upstroke, right? It could be a number of things. If you peak really fast and then it's a long taper off, that tells you that you're putting too much force too early into the stroke and you should be distributing it more over the rest of the stroke. If you're seeing a dip at the very middle, perhaps it peaks, dips, peaks again, and then drops off. If that's the case, you're seeing an issue in connection between the legs, the hips, and the arms, somewhere in that transitionary period in the middle. If you are just long flatlined, you're not actually creating much force or able to apply much force to the machine. We should be working on how you actually connect, meaning better bracing at the catch, better application of force into the machine, the thing we prioritize all the time, right? Better positioning. There are all sorts of errors that you can find. All you're looking for are inconsistencies in that smooth line. Wherever that inconsistency comes in, that is where you are observing the issue, and that comes back to what we were discussing with if you overlaid the rower on that graph, it will just tell you. It's saying, hey, there's an issue with, if it's early in the curve, probably your legs. If it's in the middle, probably something having to do with the legs connecting to the hips. If it's the middle, it's hips. If it's the backside or somewhere in that transitionary period, it's the hips connecting to the arms, or maybe it's the arms. Anyways, that's why I say it's a coach in your pocket. It's little me, Shane, Coach Shane, sitting in your pocket, because it's telling you where to look. It's like throwing a dart, it's like right there. That's what you should be working on. Go chase after it. You. At the end of the day, the goal is to be able to create consistently smooth, beautiful, large area under the curve curves. That's what I meant to say. And to do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. It's not really homework. Here's a workout that'll help you to work on your force production. It is just 5 minutes with the ultimate goal of creating the same force curve every single stroke. If there are deviations at any point, then that 5 minutes is going to be about trying to correct that deviation and messing with parts of the stroke, messing with when you apply your force, messing with when you use your hip swing, messing with when you break the elbows to try and fix that. And you're gonna spend the 5 minutes trying to work towards a smooth curve. You're gonna keep repeating that until you can get to the point at which 5 minutes of rowing gives you 5 minutes of the same force curve over and over and over. That tells you A, you're producing good force, but B, you're also creating consistency in the way that you practice on the machine, which equals better, happier, faster workouts in the long run, less confusion, and a more enjoyable experience. So my friends, go be more forceful. Take this knowledge, use it as you will. It was a bit more technical, but this is one of those learning points that is very educational and very, very useful. And not a lot of people even know that the force curve exists or what it does. But once you tap into this, it becomes a really great tool to make you better, faster, more explosive, just all around better on the machine. So with that being said, guys, thank you all for hanging out. As always, I love you all. You all mean the world to me. Thank you for being dark horses. And if that's you, if you want to be the hero of your own story and you're happy with us helping you be the guide to get you there, then you are a dark horse. And if that's you, hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so that you get alerted whenever we come out with a new video. And as always, I'll see you on the other side. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this and you're looking for more and you want workouts, continuous coaching from me and my other coaches in our private Facebook community, it's our monthly workout program. It's $39 a month. Just go over to darkhorserowing.com/athlete to sign up now.